My biggest sponsor for this event, for the Progression Conference, who's helping me fund this event, was because I showed up. I was persistent, I didn't quit, and had I quit, I wouldn't have had these relationships. I keep on going. Do not quit.
I want to change lives. I want to show people how to progress in their money. I want to show people how to progress in their mindset. I want to show people how to progress in their brand, so that way they can take care of their family, take care of their finances, and experience freedom.
Or I hit 25 doors and one person gives me a shot, whatever the number is, I just keep going. Keep going. So I'll give you the example that I have with the Keller Williams, that one that I did do the presentation with. So with Keller Williams, I walk into the building. And I said, hey, my name is Andy Audate. I'm hosting a conference. I think it would definitely be beneficial for the realtors to attend. And I talked to the broker, and the woman's like, he doesn't take walk-ins. Do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't have an appointment. I just walked in. Oh, I'll take the business card. I said, well, is he here? I live pretty far, like 40 minutes away. Yeah, he doesn't take walk-ins. Doesn't take walk-ins. I said, okay, thank you. And I walked out. And outside of the room, outside of the building, I called him. Doesn't pick up. I leave him a voicemail. Am I gonna go home? Let me shoot him a text. Doesn't reply. So I go to the different doors in the area and call him again. Doesn't pick up. Leave another voicemail. All right, I get the hint. I have other business to take care of. I leave. The next day, call him. Doesn't pick up. I'm gonna have to walk into the building. Walk back into the building. Drove 40 minutes from my house. Walk back into the building. So look, I'm here to see Paul. Look at the business card. I said, I'm here to see Paul. Listen, man, it doesn't take walk-ins. I said, how do I set an appointment then? And she says, you gotta call him. So I've been calling him, he doesn't pick up the phone. And she's like, I said, is he here? And she's like, yeah, he's here, but we can't allow you to go in. So here's what I did not do. I did not just go to the back and just walk in, which I have done before. Believe it or not, I haven't. I can tell you a story that I've done that and won. But I said, okay, no problem. Thank you so much. I left. I called him back the next day. He picks up the phone. He's like, hello? I said, hey, Paul, Andy Audate here, man. How are you? He says, I got your text messages. What can I help you with? So I understand that this type of personality is the type of person that is like really just like, give me the point. Don't do this, hey, how are you stuff. I know it's not genuine. Just get the point. So I said, listen, I got a one-day conference. It's going to help your salespeople. It's going to help your realtors sell an extra 2 houses this year. What? I got something for you. Let's meet. Tell me about yourself. 22 years old, moved from Rhode Island to Los Angeles. I put on events. I just started this in this industry, and I want to build a business here. I started working with Les Brown, and that's how I got in. He says, okay. You know what? Let's meet. So we meet up. He brings me to the office. We have a sit down. At the sit down, this dude is grilling me. So tell me, what you did? I grilled him back. I said, let me tell you. And I told him just like that. I said, this is why I'm here. That's the event. I know it's going to help you people. And after looking at me this much in the eye, he said, okay, let's do it. I'll tell you, here's one we're speaking, and here's when you're speaking, and he gave me the shot. Persistence. I just kept on going. I went to go speak, then he asked me, hey, can you come back? I want you to be our monthly motivational speaker. Come here to our meeting every month. I said, okay. So I spoke there a few times. The second time that I spoke there, so he called me, said, Andy, I want you to come back. The second time that I spoke there, I was networking in the room. I met a client. I met an individual. And I said, what do you do? They said, oh, we do security systems. We actually have an office on the street. I said, oh, that's interesting. I would love to see your office. The opportunity is where?
In the show.
In the show. The opportunity is in the show. So I said, hey, I'd love to see your office. I go to the office. I drive to the office. My intention is not to sell them any product. I just go to the office. The person that's giving me a tour of the office says, "Oh, that's the CEO right there," and he seems nervous to see the CEO. I said, "Can I go meet him?" And he's like, I said, "Come on, man, let's go meet him." So I go to the CEO, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Sir, this is Andy. We were just at Keller Williams. Did a presentation over there. He just wanted to say hi." I shook his hand, and we talked a little bit. Like any other CEO, he just got into his Mercedes or Lamborghini, whatever the nice car he had, got into it, and drove off. I said, "Well, the opportunities and so I definitely believe that." So I said to him, I said, "Hey, question for you. How many salespeople do you guys have in your company?" He says, "We have this many, about 200. I said, "Who do I talk to propose a sponsorship to about this event that I have going on?" He said, "Oh, you would talk to the vice president." So I said, Can you set up an appointment for me to meet the vice president?" He says, "Yeah." We set up the appointment. Long story short, I'm shortening this. Long story short, I go meet the vice president, and the vice president says, "You know what, Andy? I'm gonna sponsor your event." So right then and there, cuts me a check. Boom. Cuts me. Opportunities where?
In the shop.
In the show. Next, a few months later, I got the progression conference coming up. I said, "Hey, I got this event. Do you want to be a part of it? Let's meet. Let's talk." We meet. We talk. Cuts me an even bigger check. I'm in Vegas at 10X GrowthCon. I walk into the venue. To my right, I see the CEO that I met in the Mercedes at that day. I walk up to him. He knows all about me before I even knew him. He knows all about me, and we start chatting it up. And we're developing a strong relationship. The opportunities where?
In the shop.
In the show. My biggest sponsor for this event, for the progression conference, who's helping me fund this event, was because I showed up. I was persistent. I didn't quit. And had I quit, I wouldn't have had these relationships. I keep on going. Do not quit. So when you're out there, you're selling yourself as a speaker. You're talking to event organizers, Danielle. You're talking to customers, Brent. Do not quit. They'll see your persistence, and they'll say, "This guy must have something so good that he's not willing to give up." The opportunity is in the show up. When you're showing up, greet your prospect, your client, your customer. The next step in the process is to qualify them. See what it is that they have, that they need from you. Where can you offer them a solution? So you're asking them questions. You're figuring this out for them. So if I'm an event producer, I produce events. I have the capital to pay speakers if I want to. I have the capital to produce the whole entire conference and so on and so forth. And I'm the decision maker who decides who goes on stage and who doesn't. I've denied stage time to many people. I had many people contact me to be on stage. It's like a long list. Now we're putting it into Excel spreadsheet now. Many people. So you have to present and offer a solution that alleviates pain. Write that down. Write that down. Alleviate pain.
Is that the
No. Yeah, P is present. So in the qualifying process, you're finding a place where you can alleviate pain for the person. So if I'm an event producer and a speaker's talking to me, sometimes they focus so much on the event that they forget that, hey, I'm the one that tells you if you could go or not. What do you got for me? At the end of the day, if I'm buying from you, what do you got for me? Where are you going to alleviate my pain? We alleviate pain as salespeople. We're alleviating pain. So, hey, my stomach was hurting. Stomach was really hurting. So I go to Subway and get a sandwich. I buy from them because I'm alleviating the pain. And it's painful to walk 6 miles a day, right? So you buy a car. It's painful to be broke and not be able to sell products, right? So you buy Jeffrey Gitomer's. So he sells Jeffrey Gitomer's products, who's a sales trainer. So they buy your product. So hit them, find their pain point, and then present a solution. That's the P, present. Present a solution. Hey, this is what I got for you. I understand that you're an event producer. Where can I help you at? Find out where you can help the event producer, the organizer. Sometimes it's like with, for example, with the copy machine story that I was speaking about earlier. Where was his pain at? His people weren't making moves. His people weren't making that change after telling them time and time and time over again. So I showed them the problem. Hey, brother, the problem is that they look at you as a hum. It's not your fault. It's just the way that a human brain works. It's just the way that it works. So I'm going to alleviate your pain by becoming a third person that tells them the same thing that you're doing. The likelihood that they'll resonate with a new voice is very high. Why don't you give me a shot? Worst case scenario, I do half of the people make change. Give me a shot. So I presented a solution. As soon as he said, okay, let's do it, that's a close. Now there's a whole bunch of different types of closes. We're not going to get, this is not sales training here. There's a whole bunch of different types of close. If you want to learn how to close, talk to Brent. If you're looking for those type of products of how to sell, talk to Brent. But then you close them on your solution. Get them to buy your solution. So if you're the speaker, get them to buy who? You, the speaker. I'm gonna bring the file. This is why you want me here. So AT&T, this is why you want me here. Metro PCS, whatever. This is why you want. This company, this is why you want me here. Now, who here, if they're speaking, would use a PowerPoint? I didn't. Use a PowerPoint? Then you use a PowerPoint? Yeah. On your PowerPoint, is it words or images? Both. On your PowerPoint, is it words? Any of y'all use a PowerPoint?
Yeah, minimally.
Minimally what?
I use a PowerPoint minimally.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So studies show that people don't even read the words on your PowerPoint. If you're aware of that, why put it on? We want the image, we want them to remember an image. Similar to like remembering the story. People nowadays, they don't want to read. I just, in my book, there's so many mess ups. Have you read my book? Have you read the whole thing?
About halfway through.
Have you read the whole thing? Anyone here have my book? You read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Many people don't. Many people don't. Many people don't read the book. You're an author? Yeah. I gave you the book 2 months ago. What do you think about it? Oh, man, there's so many mess ups in my book. You'll see it and you might say, oh, that doesn't make sense. Or that's a run-on sentence. Or so on and so forth. So many mess ups in my book. However, it's the front cover that captures people. What happened at Tennis Grove Con? Come up here, Ben, and tell a story. I want people to see it. What happened at Tennis Grove Con? The guy walks in, sits down next to you, and what happens?
Which guy?
The podcast guy. Guy walks in, sits down right next to you, and says, looks at the book I gave you.
Oh, right, yeah, the gentleman I introduced you to.
So share.
So earlier in the day, I had done the exact same thing that this gentleman did. And I walked over and I had seen one of Andy's books displayed, like he always does, So up displayed like this, right? And then there were a couple, 3 of them just strewn about. And I walked up and I said, somebody's obviously selling their book, right? And so I grab it and I kind of thumb through it a little bit. You know how sometimes you read the back and you read the inside cover and this kind of thing. Like, obviously somebody's selling this. I'm going to see if I can run into this cat. And I went back, sat back down, and then there's this gentleman that does podcast stuff. And he goes, so we're chatting, and much like you and I are, like, hey, what do you do? And you're pretty cool. We should definitely connect. And he goes, hey, by the way, he grabs my forearm and says, hey, do you know who the author is? Which author are you talking about? The guy's got the book over there. I got to run into him. And I think we had just chatted. Yeah. We had walked through the hallways and connected a little bit, and I got a signed copy of the book because only way to fly. And I said, you know what? It's Andy Audate. He's here somewhere. As soon as I see him, I'll introduce you. Sure enough, like 3-4 minutes later, you walked in and I grabbed the guy and I said, look, that's Andy. Let's go grab him right now before he gets swamped. We walked over and I introduced you and I walked away, sat down, and kept paying attention to the conference.
People many people are just visual learners. When I sell a product, I typically give people a visual aid. Typically, not always, but I typically give people a visual aid. So while when we're using the PowerPoints that we do not use words, is people are gonna forget the words, but they remember the image. Forget the words, remember the image. What's up?
So the gal that I just hired as an operations manager came from ClickFunnels, and she ran through all of our PowerPoint presentations for sales process, organization, events, planning, speaking, whatever we do. And she said the exact same thing. She said, "Look, I'm going to do something for you," and I gave her full permission. She runs through everything. She took my all the word choice stuff like this and just trashed it. She grabbed evoking words is what she calls them. Yeah. So we've got images, we've got little clips, GIFs, videos, etc. And she'll grab those emotion-driven word choices that pull out the point that I'm making in that slide section.
When people write copy, I don't know if she writes copy. She does. Well, she does. But when people write copy for an email, which is the body of the text in a website or in a book or whatever it is, where people write copy online, they do very well at their job because they use words that bring out the emotion, like you said, but allow you to see the vision. Same thing to what we do as storytellers. Copywriters are able to do it online. However, when we're talking about a PowerPoint, they're seeing the image and they're hearing you speak. So they're going to reference every time they see that image, they're going to remember what you were saying during that time, if you said it effectively. Now, describing. Let's talk about being descriptive. Remember the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? The numbers in the middle are being more and more descriptive. When we're storytelling, depending on the time that's allotted, we want to be very descriptive. See, if I told you, hey, walk into your kitchen, open up the fridge, and grab your lemon, you might have not got a watery mouth. But when I described it, I went into detail. I went into so much detail that I said, later, that slice down, cut it in half with your left hand, pick it up, put it in your mouth, spit the seed out. And I made the noise. I was so descriptive that your brain was able to put every single connection together. Every single connection together. Who here feels comfortable to tell their story right now? In about 3 minutes. So, okay, Eric?
Full story? Or could be anything.
Your story. I want your story.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have 3 minutes. Alright.
Hello everyone, I am Eric Quinteros. I am from Guatemala, born and raised over there. I came to the US about 5 years ago. Before coming, I was very excited to be here. You know, the US land of opportunity. Little did I know that when I came here, my life was gonna just start. So many challenges were gonna come up to me that I just didn't know about it. As an immigrant, my mentality was filled with limiting beliefs, which I saw reflecting in every single thing that I will do throughout my daily life since I arrived. I was being comfortable. I was thinking small. I was playing small. In fact, I was holding back in everything. I came here. I thought I knew it all. I thought that I was able to effectively communicate with people, but then I realized I knew nothing. And right there is where my life journey began. 2 months after arriving to the country, I got my first job. It was a kitchen. Guess who learned how to cook? I learned, I got a raise 7 months later, thanks to connecting with people, I got my second job. I lasted about 3.5 years. Right there, I put myself out of my comfort zone. I challenged my limiting beliefs by becoming a bus boy. Guess who had to speak to people in English? I did. So, during my journey right there, I realized that even though there's always going to be limiting beliefs right here and here, if I put myself out there and take action, that's going to be totally pointless. Just to think that I cannot, because I can. Moving forward, I went through a whole transformational journey that took me from here all the way here. Confidence, self-worth, communication with people, effectiveness, even being assertive. I quit my job, finally took the leap of faith, and decided to become an entrepreneur. So far, I have a business with my dad. We buy and sell cars. I am developing myself as a life coach. I am learning the skills in how to become a proper motivational speaker, and I realized that there's no limiting beliefs.
Perfect. Yeah, round it up.